Welcome everyone, let's take a quick look today at Rising Lords. This is I really can't explain it in any other way than saying it's Lords of the Realm reincarnated. So we'll be playing a scenario today. We'll basically be starting on a map. Now, for those of you who didn't play Lords of the Realm, let me at least explain what that game and this game both are. You're a medieval lord, and you're trying to balance a little bit of the economy versus your ability to raise an army. And then the ultimate goal is to conquest. Just paint the map your color. But it's done in this game in a pretty clever way where you don't really move armies too much. Normally you would only move armies mostly along roads in Lords of the Realm. And here, although this is all subject to change, so I am dealing with as we can see, Scenario Alpha 0.3.8. So this is very, I mean, you'd have to imagine that this is going to increase a lot before this game is ready to go, published, released, etc. Although I do think it goes into early access May 28th, which is just in a few more days. Anyway, so let's just pick a small map today, and I'm going to try my best at least to get through it. This is 4 regions, I like this. So we'll pick 2 passive opponents. I'll start with basically all the defaults. Now I can go in here and change my lord, though a lot of this stuff is also nothing special yet. Not quite implemented, but so this is I think back in the Lords of the Realm, you could pick between the different, like the Baron, the Bishop, I don't remember all of them, and I don't remember if they provided a bonus or if they just were some kind of, coloring on top of the AI, some interesting feel. They had different words that they would say and, you're killing me when they died. So anyway, this is what I'm going to go with here. I think I'm taking recruiting armies cost 25 less gold. That sounds good to me. I mean, I was making the decision about what to put here before I even knew how to play. But this is always fun. It's always nice. I really appreciate it when they give you a little layer on top. And I loved Lords of the Realm. It was one of my favorite games. I can still remember playing it for the first time at a friend's house, a person I knew through high school. And then later on, I found a way. I had to buy it. I bought it. And yeah, so this is a modern reincarnation of that. I don't know if that's the developer's words, by the way. I probably should just... Let me pause here real fast and I'll read you the Steam page description. Okay, here we go. Rising Lords is a medieval, turn-based strategy game with card and board game elements. Send your serfs to fight and die in your name, or let them prosper and use them to your advantage. So I would say that it's very light on the management side. It's very light on the army side. It's like a fun game you can pick up and play very quickly. So let's get to the management side. We're starting with a trader here. We can't actually take advantage of him yet. Well, we could, 250. The first thing we want to do is balance our resources. We want a positive food. So our town, our people, our area, I should say. Most of the people we abstract live in this village, but there's also people who are going to be working surrounding fields, some farmers. We need people to gather resources, etc. So we start with 250 gold, 200 wood, 100 stone, 100 iron, 50 wool, 20 spears, 20 swords, 20 ranged weapons, which can be either crossbows or bows. So it's interesting that they lump both of those into the same category. You did not do it that way in Lords of the Realm. They have light armor, heavy armor, and then number of horses. So horses, sheep, and cattle all need a pasture in order to actually, maintain them. Which you can see down here, we have 100 cattle, but we're actually going to lose 50 at the end of this turn if we don't take immediate measures, which we will. We'll put one of our idle, I like this little pop-up. This is your town center. Left click to pick up lazy peasants. So one of our lazy peasants is now tending our cattle. And instead of losing 50, now we're going to gain 16. That's because we're not eating them. If we decide to eat them, we're not going to eat that many. Out of the 100, we choose not to eat that many. We'd still gain 6. But right now, growth is more important. Now cattle, each of the animals have their own benefit. Sheep provide wool as well, although they only provide 40% of the bonus to food. One cattle, this is the bonus cattle provides, is that they provide dairy products, right? Food that you don't have to kill the cow to get. So if you don't eat them, they still provide 1 unit of food. So 1 population's worth of food per cattle. So you can just take this 1,000 and subtract 100, and I have 900 people who want to eat. Well, the rest of them will be eating wheat. Now, one of the other advantages of having multiple sources of food is that your population is healthier and happier. So if I was to turn on eating food, this will just be... Right now, they're getting dairy and they're eating wheat, so that's already 2. But if I open the cattle up, now you can see nothing is changing. Well, I'll show this example later on. It'll be a little bit more... I mean, it's not changing right now, and I don't know why, but we'll see that example. Maybe if I go up to this, and now does it? Yeah, so now you can see the change. So maybe we probably just don't have enough of an impact at half rations for it to make a difference, but if we're eating cattle, we are going to gain 6 happiness and 23 health. If we are not eating cattle, we gain 4 happiness and 17 health. So, you know, the food variety does play a role, but right now we are going to neglect that just so that, even though we're going to, you know, I think I will leave it on normal rations, but I'm willing to pay a small amount of price in terms of wheat right now to get my happiness and most importantly, my health up. Yeah, because otherwise we're going to lose a lot of population. Okay, so let's take the rest of these guys. We have 3 of them, and I really want all 3 of them, honestly, to work this field, which is going to cost us quite a lot of wheat. The reason why is I'm actually going to get away with 2 of them for now. We'll just put 2 of them. And where's the last one going to go? Well, we only have, you can see in parentheses here, we only have capacity for 1,500 people. Now, if we were to go over 1,500 people, which is certainly our goal to grow and prosper, we're going to need more places for them to live. If we don't have more places for them to live, we're going to have beggars on the streets, which hurt both happiness and health. It's just a bad thing. So what I'd like to do is use some of our existing money. Whoops, not our people, but eventually, yes, our people too. And let's start creating a building. So I'm going to right click here, and what do we want to put? Church is going to give us +1 happiness per turn. So this seems like a really nice thing just to build first. We'll build a church, and this lucky peasant here is going to be my construction worker. So this management of the distribution of labor is, I mean, it's just iconic from the Lords of the Realm that I remember. It wasn't innovated there. Pretty sure that like Civilization's tile operating, I mean, working what tiles and whatnot, that probably came before Lords of the Realm. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not an expert on, you know, the exact evolution of gaming, but it's still nicely implemented in this. Pretty simple. You just distribute. It used to be a slider in the old Lords of the Realm, and now we have just fixed units of slider by a number of peasants. And as far as I know, you get 1 peasant for free at 0, or immediately when your town starts. But then you have like, what, it's more or less, you get 1 for every 500, or sometimes 250. I can't figure it out exactly, but more or less my goal will be to increase population by 250 or 500 to gain more lazy peasants that we can put to work. So that's probably enough for this turn. Don't think okay, do we want to buy anything? Actually, you know what? I am going to spend some money here. I'm going to just try to buy as many cattle as possible. My hope is that we can get this ball rolling as quickly as possible. So the more cows we have, the less food, less wheat we're going to eat, the more our cows can grow as well, the more that they can reproduce, so there's more of them. So we want to get this up to, you'll see here, the drop-down box, the very bottom 3 lines. Based on available workers, this region can manage a total of 500 cows. So we can get up to 500 cows, and I'd like to get up to that point as soon as possible, because that just decreases the amount of people that are going to be eating our wheat. So happiness-wise, quarter tithe is okay. We are not going to make almost any money, but that's okay, because right now our focus is on building into the future, and once we have more people, then it'll make more sense to tax them. So, okay, very good. This is a nice little growth. So because we gave them normal rations, we did not lose people, which is always good to see. So we're in progress 1 of 6. Going to take 5 more turns to build this church. Probably there's not a whole lot we want to do. We can debate whether or not we want to go down from normal rations to half rations. I think we're going to make it. Losing 178. So the way that wheat works is you plant 60. I think it's 60 or is it 80? 120. 60, yeah. So you plant 60 in the winter, and then you get 600 back in autumn, or after autumn. So it's 10-to-1 ratio, which is good, but the problem is you have to make your peasants, the number of peasants which started, you can see we're growing 120 seeds worth. If I suddenly cut back to 1, I would just lose 60 of that. So you don't want to, plant the wheat and then not tend to it, which means we really need to make sure we maintain 2 peasants on this the whole year round. And the only time you increase or decrease, well, the only time you should increase or decrease is in winter. And that's when you commit to how many seeds you're going to plant. Progress will continue, and then I think we're just going to end the turn. So you can see our cows are growing up nicely, 133, 39. I probably will at some point cut away in this video just to get further into it, because combat takes a while. I mean, there's this nice little building up, and we'll get an army eventually, and I can show you army movement and all that. By the way, minimap down here, so we are up against red, which I made passive, and purple, which I also made passive. So we're not expecting too much to happen. Our first move is probably going to move north to the vacant area, just like Lords of the Realm. Everything is it's very cool. And this game is, I like the polish, I like everything about it. It's a simple game, as I said, but it's a lot of fun to play. Just pick up and play, and it's going to lend itself really well to multiplayer. My only hope, I'm not sure if this existed in previous games like Lords of the Realm, but I would love for there to be a co-op option that you don't have to, you can kind of build alliances. Diplomacy is currently not implemented, but it's going to be implemented eventually. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they can do some allied and co-op options for their multiplayer options. Yeah. All right, so health will drop a little bit. That's because we're going into autumn, and happiness is going to keep increasing, probably because we have almost no taxes we're demanding, and because the rations are normal. Let's just go ahead and leave it. We also have some mercenaries have shown up. These guys will cost 1,500, give us 100 people with 5 attack, 6 defense. I think that if we were to try to recruit an army, it would tell us more or less what the... Let's just add a person here. Let's switch this type to... Yeah, swordsman. And what does it say here what their attack or defense is? No, it doesn't. But you can see the different types of soldiers we can have. Spearmen, swordsmen, crossbowmen. These are just peasants. And archers. And there's knights as well, though we don't have any horses, so we can't recruit them. Now, there is a bit of a rock, paper, scissors thing. Kind of exactly how you'd expect from the medieval times. The pikemen can defeat cavalry, and there's actually cavalry, which are just fast peasants almost. And then there's also knights, which are mounted, fully armored, the elite unit in this game. But anyways, we don't really have much more to do, so let's just keep pushing on so we can get to the fun stuff. I mean, actually, I really enjoy just this turn-to-turn management. And if you don't enjoy this, I'm not sure how much you'll enjoy this game. But I really like the slow progression. Let's get this up. And hey, our population is growing. I really like to see this turn by turn, just moving forward, progressing. And obviously, it doesn't have to be done well. This game does it well, which is why it's fun to play. So, slow amount of money gain, but again, we want to get our happiness up, which will attract more population. And that's what's going to make constructing additional places for people to stay very important. Now, we don't have any wood, so as soon as we get more people, we'll probably have to start going into the forestry to gather lumber. The lumber mill, whatever. I mean, I guess this isn't a lumber mill, but it's logging camp, something like that. And then we can also go over to this stone quarry to mine stone, and that's really important for building buildings as well. But anyway, that's all just in the future. You can see we're going to gain 1020, which means that we're gaining 1200 minus 180 to feed the people. No, minus 180, I guess, in that case, to feed the people. So although we don't have a whole lot of money, 80, we can still try to go buy some more cattle, or we can try to buy something else. And one of the things we do not produce in this region, so this often happened in Lords of the Realm, and it happens here, is that your region may not produce everything you need. We need wood, stone, and iron. These are the 3 basic resources you mine from a region, and we are not given all those in the same region. Normally you only get wood and one of the other 2. In this case, we got stone. I think I generally prefer stone over iron, so I think it's a good start, but if we want to get any iron, we're going to have to buy it. I'm not going to buy iron yet, though. I'm going to continue to buy more cows because, as you can see, let's go down to 0. So we're going to gain 24 cows. Now, if I just increase this, we don't need to buy a ton. If we just get 20 more cows, then this is increasing by 24. Still not... I'll go ahead and splurge and see if we can get any others. 21, so we'll be spending the entire amount. Let's just do this. No, it didn't go up. So 24 cows, if that means I guess we're not going to gain any more because of maybe it's over 250. I don't know what exactly the math is, how the cows increase, but the more cows you have, the more reproduction you have. However, as you get closer to the max, 500, then the growth is going to decrease. So, you know, you have this parabolic type. It's probably not quadratic, but you know, you have this flow of great increase in the beginning, it tapers off, and then the benefits, at least the derivative, is something like a parabola. Oh, okay, nobody's watching this episode to think about parabolas, so we'll just push on. It's interesting though, the game mechanics to get this balance all right. I don't have any issues with it, and I do analyze and like think about the math behind different decisions in a game. So it's always satisfying when you arrive at a game or you're playing a game where it feels like they have good, compelling 46 cattle we're going to gain. That's nice. Yeah, they have compelling mathematics, or it feels like the numbers, the values are changing in a satisfying way, or, you know, it feels like it makes sense. Okay, so still have one more turn before our church is done. And honestly, I'm hoping that we're going to get some new people soon. Our health is up and up. Our happiness is climbing, and pretty soon I expect we're going to have some people coming in. And we'll see the peasants actually on the road as a broadcast. Oh, yeah, so we finished the church, so our peasant went back to being lazy, and hey, he's joined by somebody else, which means we did actually grow enough, got past 1250, and I think that's the mark. So construction is complete. We'll close this, we know now. And what's our next bet? Well, I would like to build a church. I mean, a manor, but in order to do that, we're really going to need some wood. So we'll need some wood and we'll need some stone. We'll get the stone eventually. Let's just right click and see what a manor needs. We also need a smith at some point, but so the church can house 500 people. So now you can see 1,500 up to 2,000. The manor is going to also hold 500 people. Only takes 4 turns to build and a lot less resources. So this only takes 30 wool and 200 wood. Good, so we won't need stone, but we will need wool. Which is going to bring me to the second thing, second field that we eventually open up. So this one is covered by brambles, you can see. It's a wasteland. But once we clear it, so they don't have the idea of laying fallow lands. I think that you had to rotate. Did you have to rotate your crops in? I don't remember if you did or not. But anyways, they have this wasteland idea. You just clear it with your peasants and then you can use it. So the second thing that we'll want to do is probably get some a pasture. We can either choose it to be horses or sheep, but we would rather it be sheep. So, and then that will actually increase the diversity of food as well if we choose to eat some sheep, or we can choose to eat cows every now and then just to gain health and happiness. So our growth, you can see, even if we eat them, is still 14. I prefer not to eat them until they get all the way over 400 because, again, every cow that we have is one less. Actually, wheat feeds how many people? 1 unit of wheat will feed 5 people. Okay, so it decreases the number of cow. Like every 5 cows we have decreases the number of wheat, the amount of wheat which is eaten by one, which is still good. It's it's a small little gains here and there. Let's end the turn again because I don't think we have anything else to do. Just gonna get that wood up and then we can build a manor. And as soon as we have enough to build a manor, we'll probably put one person building the manor. Stick another person. Oh my gosh, we really climbed up to 1420 this time. So we're going to have enough wood after this to build a manor, and then we'll start probably building the manor as well as starting to clear this field so that we can get some sheep, and then we can get more wool. And wool is going to be useful for building light armor, also for some of the buildings like the manor. So lots of wheat we're going to be gaining, but actually another thing we're going to do, eventually we're going to run, you can see what's our general supply of wheat. It's hovering around 1,400 on average, I would say. So it's going to jump up here to almost 2,000, then drop back down below 1,000. We want that to be slowly increasing. We'd like to use that as kind of a cash reserve in addition to our money. And speaking of money, I think it's finally time for us to be able to tithe, tax a little bit here. So it says tithe, which I'm not sure if that's a tithe is actually for the church, but I guess maybe I am playing as the bishop. So. End the turn, see what happens. So you can see that the merchant and the mercenaries do rotate in, and once you have a church, I think you have to upgrade it to level 2. If we right click, we can see upgrade costs us 400 money, 200 wood. Then there's a chance a bishop will join, which would be great. We did get an extra worker, so that means that I can put one to work here, clearing that. I can take one guy and put him to increase our food. So that's just what I was saying, is that I'd rather get a slightly more wheat per year now that our population is growing. And this last person, although we could continue to build that, or to, extract more lumber, we don't need it. So we have enough wood for now. We'll start building our manor, and we'll keep going. Normal tithe, I think we're probably at the point where we can start increasing the taxes even more. Because happiness of 82 means that, look, we're gaining people almost too quickly now, so we'll double the tax. It gives us more money, and now you can see how we've laid down a successful economy. We're getting lots of money every turn. Cows are about to the point where they're reaching their max. Remember, it's at 500, and we have 3 people doing wheat, which should give us a nice surplus, so we can either sell that, or we can choose to, eat more cattle, or, do something, or just let our population grow without increasing this beyond 3. Store up a reserve of wheat for a rainy day, as they say. So good. If we want to build this faster, by the way, if we see 1656, how's that going to grow? Oops, okay, so we're almost up to 1800. We need this manor to be built. It might be an appropriate time for us to just, well, never mind. I was going to say bring this guy over, but what we can do instead, actually what we can do is just nab all of them, make sure we don't run into any problems. Oh, progress is already at 2, so we don't need 3 of them would give us a progress of 3 per the turn. We only need 2 to finish it, so we'll put them back into clearing that. 2 of 6. We need 3 more turns after this. Everything else is looking good. We'll end the turn. So actually, we can probably eat cows now. Let me go to a triple tithe, which will lower our happiness a little bit. Actually, this is important because if we gain too much happiness, people are going to import. You can see first one is increase from births, second is decrease from deaths, but the third line there is changed by migration. So because there's so much happiness and health here, people are coming to us from the other regions. And that's a good thing for the most part, but actually if we have overpopulation, it's a bad thing. So we'll just increase taxes to make people a little bit less happy. And I might just cut away here. I mean, I think you more or less get the point. We now have a manor, we have more, we're balancing this population, we're flourishing as from a peasant's perspective. But it's time probably for us to get an army. I might just cut away here. I'll come back when I have an army, which is going to mean I'm probably going to need more wood. We're probably going to need to save some money to buy iron. And then actually the one thing I can show you is that we were definitely going to need as well a smithy. We need 60 stone to do that. Well, that's exactly how much stone I'm going to get then. So I'll just hold you hostage for a little bit more while we get enough to build a smithy. 2 turns here should be enough for a smithy. And we're almost getting close to the point where we have this finished as well. Do we want to buy anything else? Well, at this point we can actually sell cows, but they don't sell for very much. Not really worth it. I'd probably rather eat them. I don't know. I guess we'll sell maybe 10. This gives us 15 money. Or we could sell 20, get 30 money. Yeah, let's just sell that many because we're almost at our cap anyway, so we can sell off a few. They'll reproduce back. I think this is a good time to buy some iron, so we'll get a whole bunch of this. Maybe 100 more iron, because we're going to have a smithy very soon, and then we'll have enough iron to actually start building some things like some swords, some spears, whatever we want. Let's take a look. What do we need for the smith? We need 60, and we need 240 wood. So actually, we're not going to have enough wood as is. We will have enough stone as of next turn, but what are we going to be short? Well, be at 160. We need 240, so we're going to be 80 short. Why not just bump this up by a month by getting that 80 wood directly? It's not going to cost us too much, 320, and we'll have enough money left over for essentially whatever we want. Now, if this was cleared already, I would also buy sheep, turn this guy into a sheep herder. And we'd also be keeping a storage of sheep as well, which will give us wool, and that's always nice. But for now, this will be sufficient, so we'll end the turn. So now this turn we should have enough for... yeah, I did the math right. We should have enough for a smithy. We'll pull one of our 2 resource gatherers out to do that. Yep, we have exactly enough. It's going to take 60 iron as well, so I'm glad that we got that iron. And this does house 250 people. That's not that many, though. Maybe what I'll do is just grab both of them so we finish that in 3 turns. And then when this guy's finished, he can go to work on one of the resources. You can see the balance of flow here. Let's turn down our double tide back down, our triple taxes down to double taxes. And our health is at least still going up with the normal rations. We'll go ahead and end the turn. And then, yeah, I think this is a good place for me to cut away. You get the kind of economic setup. And let me just quickly speed ahead to having an army. So we're at round 15 right now, but I'll probably see back around round 25 or so. Okay, round 25, just like I said it would be. We're going to do a little distribution here. We actually need, only 3 can work there. We're actually going to run into a problem here. We're probably going to need to somehow increase the number of cattle that we're increasing or something. We might even just drop 2 in there for now, because food is going to start to become a problem. We're basically reaching the maximum population. We're up to 2,700, so no small feat. We've got a smithy here under full production, swinging us right now plenty of light armor. And I guess that brings us to the military side of things. So we only need 1 of you here. We can move the other one, into the stone mine, maybe sell some of our extra stone. Maybe we'll want to build. You can right-click on the ones that are not under construction. Like this manor, we can put a little stone wall in there to help increase its defenses or whatever. We can build over here a stone castle. It's just going to take 480. Building the castle in Lords of the Realm was this really cool thing where you went from just a palisade to a motte and bailey to your first stone castle to the royal castle at the very end of it. I mean, it was just an interesting progression. And the better the castle gave you better tax income. It was a very cool dynamic. That might all be coming later. That might not be. But at least there's a lot of stuff in this game. In Rising, Rising Lords itself is already a great game. So I don't need to. It doesn't have to live in the shadow of Lords of the Realm. It just does in my head because I love Lords of the Realm a lot. It was one of my favorite games. So we have a merchant here. It's the perfect time to actually raise an army. And we're getting to too high of a population. What's one way to get rid of them? Well, you raise an army. If I wanted, what I can do is do maximum. This is going to take all the extra people I can and just dump them all into... But look at this. We have 833 peasants. No, I don't want those guys to come with us. So let's close them out. And let's see what else we might want to do. Right now, we're using all of our weapons and stuff, which was actually my goal, is to, get a lot of people. But we aren't using any horses. Do we want any horses? We have 55. So this is like a pretty good looking army, honestly, but before I do that, why don't we go take a look at the different weapons. Spears are used by pikemen and cavalry. Pikemen are good against knights and cavalry cavalry are strong against swordsmen and crossbowmen. I don't understand personally why cavalry are good against swordsmen, but they are. We'll just take it that they are. I mean, it's like light cavalry versus mounted or like heavy infantry. I don't really see why they would be effective, but it's part of the rock, paper, scissors in this game, and we'll just accept it. And there's probably a good explanation for it that I just can't think of. Now, swordsmen are strong against pikemen and peasants. That makes sense. Knights are strong against swordsmen, crossbowmen, and cavalry. So knights are really just the end-all, be-all, except for against pikemen. And, well, I guess against crossbows. Bowmen are strong against unarmored targets like cavalry and peasants. Crossbowmen are strong against armored targets like swordsmen and knights. So what we want is probably to develop mostly bowmen because we're expecting not to go up against armored units when we invade this area, which is the first region I want to conquer. So let's go ahead and create this army again. We can do the max, get rid of the peasants. Now it's creating for me crossbowmen, but I'm going to switch this over, which is also going to free up some of the... Sorry, let's switch your type over to, yes, there we go. Now we can increase to 60. What is preventing us from increasing this more? The fact that we already have some. Okay, so let's get rid of this and just do only 112. And that should allow us to also get 60 people. Yeah. Now, right now we can't do anything with these extras. We can do 112, 55, 20, but I kind of want to increase this more. which is going to require us to buy or have already produced, which we don't have, some more spears. Now, I don't think spears cost very much. In fact, swords do not cost much more at all. So let's go up to 64 swords, which is going to take an increase of 9. Let's also increase, because we have 64 of this, we might as well get 64 swordsmen to match. We have as many of the ranged weapons as I think we need. Or, I mean, I suppose we can arm a few more. Let's just get a nice solid number, nice even number, 8. Bring us up to 120. And lastly, we want some spears. Well, honestly, I might prefer less units of higher numbers. It might be more effective that way. But we have 86 light armor, or 80 light armor, I should say. What are we going to use that for? Well, honestly, if we can buy 60 spears, which is within the realm of possibility to do, we can have a pretty nice army going here. So this is priced at 1443, I see, because I've bought max. Allows you to buy the max if you're only spending on that, which we're not doing. Well, let's just go ahead and sell some stuff first, right? We have these. I don't think we want to sell the cows, but we can sell a few sheep. They sell for a little bit more. Maybe sell 30, 40 of them. We might want to sell some stone, which should be worth a fair amount of money. You can get that back pretty quickly. That's actually very nice. Now, the total buying and selling is 1123, which is within our realm of doing. And look at that. Bob's your uncle. So let's now go back to creating our army. We'll see what that does for max. It kind of bugs out. So we'll do it ourselves. 64, that's definitely what we want. We also want to get, what do we want you to be? Archers? Let's get these archers to the max. What's the matter? Well, the answer is actually quite obvious. I don't have enough money to pay for more things. So we have two ways of doing this. We can just end the turn and just do a massive tax, just one more turn, just try to get what we want. Or we could decide to sell off a bunch of things just because this is a temporary game and just an example. So we'll just do that instead. We'll maybe sell off all but 100 of our iron, and we can sell off a couple more of our sheep. Since we do have a fair number of those. We can sell off some more stone. In fact, we can sell off a lot of it. Maybe another 100, and that'll give us 1300, and that will allow us to now create an army of more people. So we go back to max. It looks like we're getting way more people than we need. So there we go. We have the 80 spearmen, we have the 64 swordsmen, and we have 120 archers. This is exactly the limit of what we can build. And the only thing missing, and although I said that we would wait, or that we'd build it this turn, that's why I just sold a bunch of very valuable things. I'm actually going to wait one more turn because I'd like to show off the mercenaries as well. So we'll end the turn. And look at that, the bishop has arrived. So we upgraded our church. We lost a worker in Vilnius. The workforce of the region depends on the growth of the population. 250 population equals 1 worker. Okay. So that's a tutorial message. Construction is complete, so that makes sense why we lost a worker. But our bishop is here. He's now going to grant, I think this bishop grants you extra happiness. That's health. Whoops. No, happiness here. Happiness from bishops equals 4, the third line from the bottom. Perfect. So he's giving us 4 extra happiness, which is quite nice. Basically it allows us to, tax more money. We didn't get the mercenary this turn, so I think we're going to switch our building project up to something else now. And at this point I would greatly have preferred not to have sold all our iron, but let's just go ahead and build some more range stuff. We can always get more archers, right? Well, maybe pick up one of these guys. So cows will grow quite a lot. I want to... So we're actually not losing too much in the way of wood with 2 people building ranged weapons. So we will leave it like this. And end the turn again. And that should be good enough that we... Ah, there it is. The mercenaries have arrived. Perfect. So here are our mercenary friends. Let's see if we can hire them. 1,500 gold. Well, that won't leave us too much for the army, but I think it will leave enough. So we've hired them, and now, as far as I can't really tell, they're just kind of with you, I think. They're not, I feel like they're not an army you can move around yet, because I don't see them on the map. But now we can go ahead and create a new army, and they do appear here. And I can fire them here and everything, but I don't want to do that, so let's close out this the crossbowmen and those peasants. Let's get this up to max, which should be the number of range units we have, and that is the case. We have our 64 swordsmen. We have these new, I don't know what they are, but then we have our 80 pikemen. So this looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and create this army, just so we have a chance. Oh, we can spend general's HP. Okay, let's spend the general's HP. So this allows us to do a skill tree. I don't fully understand this, but I'm just going to grab, let's do take aim, next attack from target ranged unit, deals plus 75. So this slows down our initiative, but it allows us to do more damage. So it means we'll act later, but we'll do more damage when we do. Let's grab that. And then as soon as we take something down here, it opens up the one above it, that we can unlock those. So I think we're going to do take aim. Swap seems pretty useful. Let's take that. Shields up. Target unit takes only 10% damage from the next ranged attack. Also seems useful. Take initiative. 100 plus 100 initiative. Sure, we'll do that. And charge. Plus 15% per tile. I'm not a big fan of that one. So let's see if we can grab something else. Pavis. Moderate protection for a ranged unit. For a ranged unit for 2 shots. Decoy, the next time target unit is attacked, attacker and defender deal no damage. First strike, next time target unit is attacked, it strikes before the attacker. That sounds really good. So I'll right click to unlock that. And let's add that as well, because we have some XP remaining. And I think this deck is just all the options that we have. Warcry, all enemy units adjacent to your general get minus 10 morale. I think I'd rather have one where we inspire. Yeah, so let's right click this and grab that instead. Charge, I'm not going to take. Ladders, first of all, target unit attacks will become passable. I don't really think we'll do that. We could do formation. Target unit gets plus 2 retaliations. Let's do that. We have only 200 XP remaining, now down to 85, so we'll take that. And we will left click skill box to add deck to your card. I think that we're good there. So let's finish. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do with that. I'm not very familiar, but that seems to have worked. So we'll yes, muster army, and our army's now mustered. There it is on the field. So we can actually choose where to, they're called the weak. So we can actually choose where to move these guys, and you can see that you can't move anywhere. You can only move to the bridge, or we can stay in the home. So there's not, it's basically just some waypoints you can move to. We'll move over here. So our goal is to take over the town center of the region north of us and end the turn. We don't really need to do triple tithe. We just want the region not to go to hell while I'm away. So we'll try to keep happiness up, because happiness is already way down. And you can see that the people we actually did need to recruit, we had like 2,700 people, but we actually needed to take the 300 people in our army. We had to take it from the population. So that's one of the cool things about this game, is that, every time you raise an army, you are depleting your economy. Nonetheless, we'll move in and make our attack. I thought that was correct. There it is. So we'll move in to attack and take over that new place, which will trigger the battle, and that'll give us a quick look at the entire game as far as I can tell. And there we have it. All right, we have a battle. Let's do it. We can either let the AI battle, but no, let's go to the battle. Let's see how we're going to deal with this. It says that they have a few people. Let's see what a few means. I'm sure they're going to muster something. And this is moving us to the tactical map, which is essentially just a narrow version of the strategic map. It's the same kind of hexes, as you can see. So we have a camp here. They have their main town there. They don't have anything else, so they'll probably hide in the main town. And right now it's a alternating placement of units phase. Is this a hill? I don't think that we have any... Oh, this is a hill. That looks like a hill. So let's put our archers on this hill. Which, I mean, in any case, it looks like a hill. So they didn't place a unit yet, but I think they eventually will place a unit. Let's put our swords... No, let's put these guys, who probably are jack of all trades, on the front line. Okay, they put their archers right next to us. Well, we know our swordsmen are going to be very good against their archers. We'll put them there. And our swordsmen are also going to be good against their peasants. We'll put this unit down here. We don't know what's going to happen there. Okay, and now we have my general. I can attach him to one of my units. Well, let's attach him to the swordsman. Okay, so that gives a plus 10 bonus morale to the people next to me. And these are the cards which I've got, which I have received. First strike would be nice. Take aim is good. Inspire, shields up. I mean, these are all good. Let's accept. And it looks like they are going to go first. They're going to shoot. Oh, but they didn't really do much. In fact, they got themselves killed by attacking my mercenaries. That's pretty funny. One sec. Well, our first unit up is the archers, which, hey, that's a great unit to have up. And oh my gosh, they are just going to annihilate, possibly even kill that unit directly. We're only going to do 9 to 15 here. They can retaliate. I don't think that they will. Let's just go ahead and kill the peasants here, because our swordsmen are going to be very good against the pikesmen. So let's do this. And did 84 damage. It wasn't enough to completely eliminate them, but that unit is pretty useless. I mean, as in, it's not going to be able to do much. Okay, actually, they went up against our swordsmen and they basically killed themselves. We'll always accept that kind of exchange. Their morale is going down. We can see that the 50 unit acts next, so they will attack. They did 9 damage to our pikemen, our mercenaries. And by the way, you can see that we didn't retaliate this time because we had no more retaliations available. If I had chosen the first strike, that probably wouldn't have helped either. But, maybe I ought to play some of these. I'm not even sure how you play cards or whatever, but... okay, so who's up next? It is... Who is it? Oh, it's these guys. So if we attack them, they can retaliate. And we can see that above our head there's a red 4 to 8. It's pretty tiny there, but see it maybe a little bit better now. And above their head is 10 to 17. So we'll do 10 to 17 damage, or people will kill 10 to 17 people, and they will kill 4 to 8 of us in retaliation. I think that's an acceptable exchange, so we'll do that. This gets rid of their ability to retaliate in the future. Formation. Target unit gets plus 2 retaliation. So it looks like they're going to increase there. But we can also do another attack here, and we are only expected... This is rock, paper, scissors. They can retaliate, but their attack is 4, their defense is 6. What's our unit? Attack of 7, defense of 6. So this is actually quite nice. We're expecting to inflict 23 to 36, which could be enough to kill them. And they're only expected to inflict 0 to 1 casualties on us. Obviously, this is an exchange we're happy to take. 32 and 0. That's perfect. Well, this is taking a turn for the worst. You don't say. The People's Army has lost a lot of their morale. And look at it. It's our mercenaries' time to go. They can retaliate because they have the plus 2 retaliations, but 14 to 15 damage, this is going to be the end of them. Do we have an option to, reduce damage or something like that? If we had first strike, that would be... Well, let's just kill them first. And I don't think that they can retaliate once they're dead. And that is truly the case. So there it is. That's a quick, excerpt of combat. Sir Tortuga won against the people. Victory is ours. And we are the Rising Lord. Really, I know this has already gone on 45 minutes, but it's a great game, and it was worth every minute of it for those of you who made it all the way through. Now, that's going to conclude this little overview, and maybe I'll be inspired to continue to play this, because it is a very fun game, but you can at least judge for yourself whether it's the kind of game you like, hopefully from all this. We looted 200 gold, 5 ranged weapons, 5 spears, 5 light armor. That's good. And you can see that those are up here. And it should be, I think that the number of, okay. So the number of wheat, sheep, horses, and cattle is per region, whereas the armory is distributed among your entire empire or, nation. So that's kind of interesting that you have to actually transport food back and forth, and there's a send provisions button. This is just like how it was in Lords of the Realm. But I'm going to call this video to a close here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're interested, go check out Rising Lords on Steam. I'll have a link to it in the video description. And let me know what your thoughts on there in the comments. I usually am pretty good about responding to comments. Usually. As of lately, not as much. And if you don't mind, if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. And I only mentioned that on a few select videos, but this is one of those I'd like to get a little bit of traction on YouTube. So for that purpose, I'd appreciate it if you did. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you back for the next video, or in my Discord perhaps, or wherever we meet next.